No, I texture and I represent for the weekend show and I don't know the things. Right, you so with it? Right, this here for the dome over there. You hear that? Sure.
Yes, my
Weekend.
people. Greetings again. It's your host with the most. Yeah. You don't know, sir. Right now, it's raining in Jamaica like crazy. Cats and dogs and things, rain, constant. But you know, we have like a storm out of sea there. Yeah? So more on the safe and so on in the house. And I do the right thing. Yeah? And pre-election. Because that's what we're talking about today. Right now, what we're going to talk about is what's up in America, and you know say it's a big thing, biggest election say, and anything happen right now, you know say, boy, I just saw it off ago. But more want to be careful, protect on yourself because this election is different from any other, right? So right now, more want to pre some video. Right now, because I don't know what will go on in this election. A lot of threats have been made. Bag of things are going. Alex Jones attack of a bag of things. And I have a video for showing about him at the end of this soon. I'm going to watch the video that I seen. But right now, people want to pre the video. Now the video people, I just start the whole of the something on Philadelphia. With the police, violence, everything. And the people, the man, them just shooting on the video. And it's so going. Very violent. America is supposed to run so. So hear me say now. If that's an indication of what's going to be the outcome of this election, people, I beg you now, stay on our house after election day and put it on the side. Yeah, the road and make nobody hurt, you understand? Now, people, I have a next video where I want to show now. Now, if the threats that's been made is any indication of what people want to do to people, when this video will explain everything. So, I want to pre the video too. Very violent video doing people. And I can't believe what nasty do. Well, I don't know if a part of a movie this or this happened for real, but I never hear them report on this nowhere. But I get the video as I normally get things in my WhatsApp and bag of things. So we just pre them and the one them where certain way we have to make them know what go on. See? So people, just go out and vote safely. Stay on the yard, protect on yourself and your family. Right now, as I said, I don't know what go on in this election after the election call. I don't know if people are going to take it the right way or some people are going to want to send out them goons to go do harm to people or whatever because them all want to kidnap governor. I don't know America just be sending this anarchist state where I don't understand what's going on. So anyway people, the video now I'm going to talk about Alex Jones and some things where himself on TV. So if any of this where I talk about really I go on people. I'm in for a terrible ride. See? So here what I go on now. I'm not going to pray this man I tell you now what Alex Jones I deal with. See? Yeah. Because right now we need to hear these information and know sir we have to protect ourselves. So here goes the
Good morning, Dragon Squad. A little story that unfortunately isn't going to make it onto our rundown, which is already locked and totally filled up with news for about 40 minutes from now, when I'm going to be joined by Emma Vigeland, who you probably noticed if you're following her on Twitter is going to be transitioning to co-host the Majority Report. Today is her last day at TYT. It is going to be, at least for the short term, her last appearance as a co-host on the Damage Report. So you're definitely going to want to tune into that live in about 40 minutes. We're going to be sort of talking about the transition as well as going through a bunch of this story, though. I only noticed after we had already filled up the show. And I want to talk a little bit about the different way that different groups are preparing for the elections. So speaking just for myself, I don't know, maybe this is representative of your experience as well. I'm trying to make sure that people know what's going on, making sure that they know what they need to be able to vote. Go to vote.org, tyt.com/vote. Make sure that they know in some states that, at this point, if you're going to, vote by mail and vote early, you probably don't want to mail it in. You probably want to hand it in because the USPS has been so purposefully, it's a legalized voting, sure, has been so purposefully destroyed at this point that you can't guarantee it's actually going to make it there by election day. And when you combine that with the purposeful voter suppression, that Republican state level groups just got a big boost from the Supreme Court, you're going to want to make sure that you hand that in person, unfortunately. That's what I'm doing. Normal human, not everybody though, because other people in the media, like Alex Jones, they're having militia leaders on their show. You know, that fancy whitewashed term for right-wing domestic terror groups. So Stuart Rhodes is the leader of the Oath Keepers. Now, this is a really big group of anti-government radicals, insane people. And they're basically obsessed with guns and murdering politicians in the same way that I'm obsessed with like board games and fantasy novels and stuff like that. We both dwell in worlds of fantasy. Mine just don't involve fantasizing about killing our political leaders. So what are they doing in the run-up to the election? What are their plans for Election Day? Well, they were on Alex Jones, and he said that members of his group are going to be at polling locations on Election Day to protect Trump voters. They say in particular that opponents of Trump are going to be coercing and threatening Trump supporters at the polls. So what they need to do is they need to send people with assault weapons to the polls to protect them. Weird little bit of projection there, that what they're worried about is people threatening their political opponents, so they're sending people packing military-grade weaponry there to loom over them as they try to vote. So I'm going to make a crazy prediction. I think the only people at the polls with guns are going to be whack jobs like this. Let's see what happens. I have a feeling I'm probably going to come out right on that one. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already hit the like button, please do that. It looks like less than 10% of you have, 90% of you definitely not pulling your weight. Hey, Gabby, how's it going? Okay, so they're going to be there, but that's not the end of it. If they were just going to show up at the polls and intimidate people and all of that, that's nothing new. I mean, that's every time. No, it's worse than that. So the leader of this Oath Keepers group says that he would consider any win by Joe Biden to be proof that the election was illegitimate and that the election had been stolen, and that would launch us into a civil war that they are desperately hoping will happen. So just understand, and this is nothing new, I guess, for us, despite the fact that the polls have had Biden beating Trump since, 6 months before he was actually the nominee, and they've been incredibly consistent literally this entire time. Again, doesn't mean Trump can't win, but it does mean that hypothetically, if Joe Biden were to win, it's not necessarily all that weird an outcome. They don't buy that. They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept any outcome on Election Day. And so what else did they say? They're going to be taking their terror group of former law enforcement officials and military veterans. And here are the things that they're concerned about. Okay, hypothetically, we could cover this on the show and show you the videos. I don't think that would be good for your sanity nor your stress levels a week out from the election. So, discussing the coming civil war, Rhodes said to Alex Jones that Trump should, quote, declassify all the secrets to expose the deep state, and that then his group will go and put it to them and take them into custody and do what we have to do. Okay, so their plan is indistinguishable from the terrorists who wanted to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Maybe they're more explicitly talking about murdering someone. That was just sort of the implication with the Whitmer thing. This is just clearly Trump needs to expose the deep state, and then that'll be the list of people we need to kill. So there's a more organized version of Cesar Sayoc, and you have the Coast Guard guy who got foiled. So basically Trump supporters who just want to know who they're supposed to murder. But this is different because this is a guy on Alex Jones's show. Hopefully the FBI is watching. I don't know how much more you can do to let the authorities know that you are planning to assassinate people. He's doing a really good job of publicizing that. Anyway, he also said that Trump should invoke the Insurrection Act before the election when he's the clear, undisputed president of the U.S. so that he can stay in power, which is definitely a confidence move there. You are sure that you're going to legitimately win a Democratic election when you say that Trump should effectively cancel the election and just remain in power. A very alpha move there from these right-wing extremists. They also said that they're worried about a Benghazi-style attack on election night against the White House, and that some of his best men, we're going to need citations on that, will be posted outside of D.C. and within range. He said he doesn't trust the military because a stand-down order could be issued that allows the attack to happen, and he says that if this attack happens, an Antifa flag or communist flag could be flying over the White House. there's not going to be a Benghazi-style attack on the election. They're the only ones obsessed with these fantasies of running around in camo vests with assault rifles. That's it, honestly. Like, and I get it. Everybody has a kink. I personally think that cosplay is pretty cool. I think that going to Ren fairs is pretty awesome. I don't imply that that makes me cool and tough. These guys do the exact same thing with guns instead of swords, and they for some reason think it's cool. I don't understand it. He said that 20,000 Antifa supporters could storm the White House, and the Secret Service would then run out of bullets. So to give you an idea of the sanity level of this person, in his theory, Biden is going to steal the election, and he's going to steal it so much that he'll win on election day. And despite that, tens of thousands of Antifa super soldiers are going to rush the White House. And even though all of the Secret Service and the military and all of that are going to be mowing down hundreds or thousands of people, it doesn't matter to these Antifa super soldiers. They're going to crawl over the piled up mountains of the dead, Battle of the Bastards style, to get to the White House. It's very World War Z. This is a sane person that thinks things like this. Jones responded to all of this, including, they go on and on about what the founding fathers would do to terrorists and all this stuff. Jones asks him about the military rules of engagement. And the terrorist says, we're not just going to fight in the streets, we're going to take out their command and control also. Now understand that at another point in this interview, they implied that we're already at civil war because there's sitting politicians that side with the enemy. So they're not starting a civil war, guys. We're already at war. Why? Because there are politicians that disagree with him. And so when he talks about taking out their command and control, what the fuck do you think that's supposed to mean other than murdering Democratic politicians? And we know who they're obsessed with. AOC plus 3. This is a threat to assassinate sitting representatives and senators. That's all it is. Probably some governors too, honestly, but that's all it is. And Alex Jones just pretends that he's talking to some rational author or political candidate or something like that. As this guy says, no, what we're going to do is, we've got weapons. We're going to massacre people that disagree with us. We're going to do it. We've got the plan. I'm announcing a week in advance. We're going to start killing people. We're going to assassinate politicians. And Alex Jones just says, so what about the rules of engagement? Like, what do you think happens if, what the fuck are you talking about? He's promising terror attacks. And Alex Jones is pretending, totally normal. Because of course, Alex Jones wants domestic terror attacks against leftists. And so I have an important follow-up question, probably a few, but I'll ask this one. What the fuck is Joe Rogan doing having this goddamn terrorist-supporting maniac on his election coverage? It's supposed to be a day where we choose a new president, and instead, the guy who is secretly, fingers crossed, hoping that the Oath Keepers assassinate AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and all of them, he's going to be one of the commentators. That's going to be cool, isn't it? And so if maybe on election day, the Oath Keepers do what they're promising to do, maybe Alex Jones can give live commentary as the body count rolls in. That'll be fun. That'll be cool. Love a democracy. Quite the democracy we've got here. Really awesome, not scary. And for some reason, I guess you can do this. I guess you can go on a news show and say that you're planning to assassinate politicians, and it's totally cool, and you're totally fine. He wasn't hiding his voice. He wasn't hiding his identity. I guess you could just do that. That's cool. But we're the radicals. We're the extremists, because we want radical things like mail-in ballots. And we want ballot drop-off locations, and we'd like extended voting hours for, early voting. I'm a fucking crazy person, aren't I? I mean, arguably crazier than wanting to assassinate everyone who disagrees with me. I honestly don't want to kill anyone. But that's just a cover for how crazy I am. Okay, this is all available. This isn't like secret emails on some laptop in a pawn shop. That's an interview which is available. You can just go and watch that. You can go and see him say all of these things that I just said. No, Robert Paul, it's on Alex Jones's show. It was yesterday that this happened. You can go and watch the entire thing. None of this is secret. None of this thing is reading between the lines. All of these are just quotes from his interview that he did a few days before the election. So that's fun. I want everyone to understand this. Vote early if you can. Go drop off your ballot in person, because they've tried to make it as easy as possible to invalidate your vote if you send it in remotely. And on election day and following, be very careful, because our country is filled up with terrorists who want to kill you if you don't pledge loyalty to Donald Trump. That's the state of things. So
now people, I want to like, comment and share. See? And if you know, like when I put on, I want to feel so you want to talk about it, just in the comment section talk about it, you understand, and discuss it, because right now we want a safe America. We want everybody pray for America, because America is a place where a lot of immigrants go, people from all over the world, build them family, and I think America should be a place where people should always be willing to go, as long as they come positively. As you know, I grow in America too, but I back and live in Jamaica. But at the same time, America is a place where we can love. So I want America just make the thing right for everybody. I mean, we live in a peace and love. No watch color and creed. That now gone away. People, so remember, like, comment and share in the comment section and left on the views. Yeah? Until next time. So now, just go out and vote safely. Stay on the yard, protect on yourself and your family. Right now, as I said, I don't know what go on in this election after the election call. I don't know if people are going to take it the right way, or some people are going to send out them goons to go do harm to people or whatever, because they all want to kidnap governor. I don't know America just descending on this anarchist state where I don't understand what's going on. So anyway, people, that video now I'm going to talk about Alex Jones and some things where himself on TV. So if any of this where I talk about really I go on, people, when I'm in for a terrible ride. See him? So here what I go on now. I'm not going to pray this man I tell you now what Alex Jones I deal with. See him? Yeah. Because right now we need to hear these information and know sir we have to protect ourselves. So here goes the video. Now people, I want to like, comment and share. See? And if you know, like when you put on, I want to feel so when you want to talk about it, just in the comment section talk about it, you understand, and discuss it, because right now we want a safe America. We want everybody pray for America, because America is a place where a lot of immigrants go, people from all over the world, build them family, and I think America should be a place where people should always be willing to go, as long as they come positively. As you know, I grow in America too, but I back and live in Jamaica. But at the same time, America is a place where we can love. So I want America just make the thing right for everybody. I mean, we live in a peace and love. No watch color and creed. That now gone away. People, so remember, like, comment and share in the comment section and left on the views. Yeah? Until next time. So now.